Hey everyone, Matthew Robinson back again for the weekly DreadHead Chronicles. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let me tackle as much as I can right now. Okay, first on the topic, Obama gets his first interview after being sworn in as president, and he doesn't give it to the Today Show, to Fox News, to anybody here in America. He goes over and gives it to a Middle Eastern, I guess the Middle Eastern equivalent of CNN. It is called, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Al-Arabiya. I'm sorry for my Middle Eastern subscribers if I pronounced that wrong. I apologize. But anyway, Obama gives a meeting with these guys, and it goes really well, apparently. They have a lot of respect for them, and this was an interview that I saw on CNN on Anderson Cooper 360, and Obama basically is reaching out to the Middle Eastern world, and he's talking about what his plans are as president and what his policies are as president. He also says that this is not a war on the Muslim race, so I'm glad he said. And he brought up how he's lived in the #1 largest Muslim country, or Muslim populated country. And he talks about how members of his family are Muslim. So this was a very interesting interview. Very important. So this is something that we need to think about. How's Al-Qaeda going to respond to this when the President of the United States' name is Barack Hussein Obama? He is Christian, for those people who think he's somehow secretly Muslim. Like that makes a difference anyway, but he is Christian. And it also brings up the point, what are they going to say? What is bin Laden going to reply in the video when he says, I have Muslim members of my family, and that sometimes people use the Muslim faith, or any religion really. Christian religion has been used a lot to justify violence and justify agendas. So it's a very interesting interview. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you look around YouTube and try to find it. It's worth your time. So yeah, how's Al-Qaeda going to respond to that? But I'll get to that later. Also, briefly more on the Obama scale, Rush Limbaugh said in a recent interview on his radio broadcast that out of other things, that he wanted Obama to fail, and that he thinks it's ridiculous that everyone is just hoping for this guy to succeed just because he's the first black president. Now, I don't listen to either left-wing or right-wing radio. I think it's just propaganda, mouthpiece talk. But I have to say I'm very pissed at Rush Limbaugh for saying this, and I try not to get too much into politics and too much into picking sides, because I really don't have a side that I agree with. I hate the Democrats, I hate the Republicans. But Rush Limbaugh went way too far. That's super unpatriotic. Even with George Bush, even though I did not like George Bush, I didn't want him to fail, because if he fails, the whole country fails. Shouldn't Rush Limbaugh know that? I think he's a racist scumbag. And Rush Limbaugh, if you ever see this video, which you probably won't, because I doubt you listen to black people, but if you ever do listen to this, I just want you to know you're a racist scumbag. And that's all you really need to know. And I'm sure he did this just to get ratings, just because, he's pathetic. But he also said that Obama's scared of him. Somehow, I don't think the first black guy to run for president is scared of Rush Limbaugh. Just what I think. Okay, moving on though. So some other news related to the financial recession. TNA's profits have been dwindling, and now there's a rumor that the WWE, its indirect competitor, might buy it out like they did with WCW. Except this won't be as big of a buyout because they aren't direct competitors. Now, the rumor is saying that if WWE does buy out TNA, it will keep TNA the same way it is and keep its originality, but it will be a byproduct of the WWE, which is interesting to note. That means the TNA may now soon be taken over by the WWE, which also means a lot of TNA talent could get released that WWE doesn't like. And by the way, the source for that TNA rumor, WWE buying out TNA rumor, comes from thebleachreport.com. Alright, moving on. Katie Stam, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, wins the 2009 Miss America contest. That, for those of you who don't know, is when a bunch of women show off their talents and their beauty and try to win the contest. They compete against other states. She is the first woman from Indiana, or first Miss Indiana, to win Miss America. So congratulations to her. She wins a $50,000 scholarship. She's 22 years old, and she's a college student. She's a communications major. Just thought that was an interesting bit of tidbit to talk about. Okay, box office scores. Paul Blart Mall Cop is still #1 after 2 weeks, and January's having a very nice box office season, unlike last year where the only big movie really was Cloverfield and Meet the Spartans. But anyway, this year the box office, Paul Blart made $21.6 million and only dropped 32% from viewers, which is pretty good, especially for a January movie. Number 2 is Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. Now it opened up with $28.8 million. Very disappointing. It's the lowest opening of all the franchise, even when equated for inflation. This is by far the worst opening for the Underworld movie. It didn't look good. Yeah, and so, yeah, you know, whatever. Number 3 is Gran Torino with $16.2 million. Some notables: Inkheart opened up very low, making making just barely $7 million. So, yeah, that's basically what's going on with the box office world. So that's all I have to talk to you about right now. A few other things real quick. I'm also thinking about possibly doing some sort of contest with my stuff. But before that begins, also soon I'm going to start off a top 30 animated cartoons of all time, or my top 30 favorite animated cartoons of all time, or cartoon movies, I should say, cartoon movies. So the only rule for this is that this cartoon or animated movie had to have come out in theaters. It had to have been released in theaters. It can't be a directed video or directed DVD movie to qualify. So I'm going to name the top 32. But if you guys have any suggestions, you know, I'm open to them. And that leads me to my 3 questions of this video. Question number 1. What do you think about what Rush Limbaugh said about Obama and him wanting Obama to fail? Question number 2. Is the Miss America pageant outdated? Is this sexist to have a Miss America? Why isn't there a Mr. America pageant? Number 3. Well, what movies do you think I should have in my top 30 animated movies list? What do you think? This is your chance to give me some ideas before I start posting my series on the top 30 animated movies of all time. So, get to it. Okay guys, I'm going to be in San Diego tomorrow, and I might bring my camera down with me there so I can show you some video from San Diego. I'll be with my grandfather and one of my cousins. Also, guys, 2 videos that have been getting a lot of buzz lately that I've made. My reaction to The Dark Knight being snubbed for Best Picture involves me rioting and crying in the shower. And also Haas Water, a commercial I made in 2005. Okay guys, remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, it's all there. Oh, number 1. Number 2, Underworld, Lies of the Lycans. Ooh, I said Lycans. World, Lies, slightly disappointing. 21.6. No, I'm sorry. 20. I read the wrong one. Why is this movie messing with me so much? Well, that's all I have the time I have for today. So remember, before I go. Oh, dang it! I'm messing up today. What is wrong with me?